All right, it's 6:01, and we can go ahead and get started.
Okay, November the 12th, 2024, will now call to order and roll call.
Jed Inkle. Ware. Kirkley. Vidal. Stokes. White.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Freeman.
Yeah.
Oh, he. Okay.
Okay, roll call has been. If y'all would stand up, please, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank everyone. Okay, we'll get to item 3, which is new business. Item A, and we'll turn it over to the director.
All right, thank you. So tonight we have case number 2024-181, and that's a site plan review for Chipotle Mexican Grill in lot number 2 of Westbury Square subdivision on Goodman Road West on land consisting of 0.79 acres under C4 zoning, being developed by Streamline Development Partners and McCarty Granberry Engineering. And so here we have the aerial view of the property in this 2-lot subdivision. The site plan is going to be built out on that eastern lot encircled in the yellow color there, and then the aqua blue color is the other lot. Next slide, please. And then so that is more of a zoomed out view of that same picture. Next slide, please. And we have the current zoning, which is C4 zoning. Now this site is C4. The adjacent sites to the west and to the east are also C4. And then to the south, you have PUD zoning. Next slide, please. All right, and so we have, we put this on all the presentations. If anybody wants to go back to any of these are the requirements for the building permits, which generally states you have to go through the planning commission to have the site plan reviewed. So you can go ahead and scroll through them. And so here we have the general site plan. If it's kind of blurry, we can definitely zoom into the actual site plan document. Next slide, please. All right, so this one's a zoomed in image of that same image. So here's the site plan detail. This one pretty much has all the necessary components on it as far as parking spaces, layout, drainage. Next slide, please. And yeah, next slide. All right, and then so same here. As I said, it went over the drainage as well. And we can definitely go back to the actual document if anyone wants to and go through the elevations and the pipes and where the water is going. They did have a storm drain pipe under this, and ensuring the water is diverted out to lower elevations. Next slide, please. And then here's the impervious area requirement. So the zoning district regulation chart states that the maximum impervious surface on lots in the C4 zone shall be 85%. And so after reviewing the site plan, the area of impervious surfaces on the site will be at 72%, so this passes that requirement. And then getting on to the parking, so the general site plan shows that the 23 spaces will be 10 feet wide, including 2 handicap spaces. However, the handicap spaces must be widened at 12.5 feet to conform with the parking requirements of the ordinance. And, yeah, next slide, please. And then here we have the building elevations. Next slide, please. And so you have all 4 building elevations. They all are of similar design, and they do conform with our reading of the architectural standards. Next slide, please. And so here it says the elevations for the building will be of colors and materials that match the requirements of the architectural standards. And the C4 architectural standards specify a minimum of 20% glass on the facade of the building, and the elevations conform with the regulations of that ordinance. Next slide, please. And so the site plan for this proposed Chipotle Mexican Grill does not conflict with the architectural standards set forth in our code of ordinances, except for the width of the handicap parking spaces being 10 feet instead of 12.5 feet. And so, as we usually do, we can have this pass upon the condition that the engineers redraw to make it conform with anything such as the parking requirements. And that concludes the presentation.
Does anyone on the panel have any questions for the director?
You say we can put in the motion there to be subject to the 12.5 feet for the handicap?
Yes, sir. This can, the planning commission can pass this upon the condition that the engineers afterward redraw and make it conform with our parking dimensions, or anything else that you may find with this that might need to be corrected.
Any other questions? Is the person here to represent this project? Step forward and give your name and address, please.
My name is Patrick Reeves. I work for Blackburn Construction and Streamline Development Partners. We're at 825 Sisk Avenue in Oxford, Mississippi. And I'm here to represent the developer.
Is there anything you'd like to present to us before the panel asks you any questions?
No, sir. I think he pretty well covered it.
Anyone on the panel have any questions for the representative?
Will that be a problem with the wheelchair, the handicap parking?
No, ma'am. No
I didn't think
problem.
so, but I just wanted to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions? We don't
This
have a
is
public
not a
hearing.
public hearing. Some cases are public hearings, but this one is not.
This one is not a public hearing. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chairman will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. After review of case number 2024-181, a site plan review for a Chipotle Mexican Grill in lot number 2 of Westbury Square subdivision on Goodman Road West on land consisting of 0.79 acres under C4 zoning being developed by Streamline Development Partners, McCarty Granberry Engineer, the Planning Commission approved the presented site plan with the possible following condition that they increase the width of handicap parking spaces from 10 feet to 12.5 feet.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, have a motion, we have a second. Could we have a roll call, please?
Ware,
Yes.
Kirkley, yes. So, White,
I don't vote unless it's a tie.
oh, that's right. Carter, yes.
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
It
Okay,
passes.
We have 4 yeses, no negative, so I declare this to pass. Okay, since we have concluded, the only item on our agenda is the any other business. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.